Hey world. So my cold's definitely getting better. Um well, I learned from my mistakes yesterday. I was very centered, still very centered all day today. Made sure that I did what I had to do for me, no matter what. Um, Overall, it was a very interesting day. Got a good amount done today. Helped a bunch of people. Helped the person that I care most about in this world, outside of myself and my kids. Um, Spent a lot of time reflecting today on mistakes that I don't want to make again, the direction I'm heading, what I'm working on, all the things I'm working on, the people I care about. Meditated quite a bit today. This cold is really getting better, thank God, because it was driving me nuts. I hate when it gets into my sinuses. That's the worst. Um, at least for me, right? Like my ears have always been bad, so it's like many different things. I'm sure the drug use and everything else didn't help either, but that's fine. You know, the more I think about it, such a huge part of me is giving, right? And helping others. And I really do enjoy it and it makes me whole. And that's great, right? What I learned yesterday was that I've got to give to myself first, and I started putting that into practice today, and it's good. And I feel good, right? Like I mean, it's 9:15, and I'm not exhausted, and I'm not drained, and I'm not looking for the day to end so I can go to bed. I'm not as stressed as I was. I'm not as anxious. It's not that things are that much better from yesterday to today, and it's not that there's not imminent things in front of me that are going to be testing and trying. But I acknowledge that and I accept that, right? I know that the changes I've made over the past, I guess, 4 months now, 4.5 months, have made me better equipped to handle it. And I'm continuing to make changes daily as I evolve and grow and change and learn from additional mistakes or whatever it might be. Having that one person in your life that you trust with every aspect of your life, that you want that intimate or that you have that intimate bond with, it's hard to explain if you don't have it, right? And I've never had it, right? Even coming out of a marriage, even being in many different relationships, and over the course of my life, I've never had somebody like that in my life that I've trusted that much or cared that much about. Having it now makes me realize how much more complete and full life is, and knowing that that person is there for you when you're down to the best of their ability, and knowing that when that person's down, I'm there for them to the best of my ability. Uh, it makes me happy, right? I get warm and fuzzy inside because I know that there's somebody there that, under any and all circumstances, does care. And it doesn't mean that it's perfect. It doesn't mean that it's ideal. It doesn't mean it's the best situation or the best circumstance. Uh, doesn't mean my circumstance or situation helps anything. But in some way, I think it does. Because the reality is, if I was never stuck here, I never would have gotten to the point that I was open to build a relationship of that type. I would have done what I did in the past, which is go into something and then just find a way to self sabotage and destroy it. And I still have those moments now, but not as often, not as frequent. I still go inward like I did yesterday, right? Yesterday was a tough day. But when I do, I come out of it. I don't go atomic and just start sabotaging myself in every which direction anymore. I think a lot of that is because I'm focusing on things outside of myself. While I'm doing the work on myself, I'm also focusing on helping others and getting them to a point. And the amazing thing about helping others, from what I've learned and what I've realized, is as you're helping others, you're also helping yourself, right? Because as you give others either advice or insight or whatever it is, it's relatable to where you're at. So you're able to reverse that onto yourself. And yes, I have cough drops in my mouth because I'm tired of the constant coughing, which is not as frequent today, but I just don't want to get into it. Um, what I'm finding is as the days go by, I'm gaining confidence within myself. I have moments where I'm not confident. I have moments where I don't feel I'm worth it. But now I'm starting to have moments where I know I'm worth it. I'm starting to have moments where I'm resolute in what I'm doing and I'm not going to give up under any circumstance. Yes, I have moments that I say I'm really overwhelmed. I'm really tired. I just want to throw in the towel. I just want to walk away. But the reality is, I'm never going to in any aspect of my life. I did that enough. There's so many changes going on in the world on a daily basis right now. The next month is going to be very interesting as far as energies go and the universe goes and everything else that's going on around us. And if you're quote unquote awake, um, the energies that are flying around, the vibrations, will have an impact on you in many different ways. Make you question everything some days. It'll make you feel like you're on top of the world on others. Now, if you go to a psychologist, they'll tell you you're bipolar, but the reality is, on some level, everyone is. On some level, everyone has those tendencies. But I also think that when you're awake, they're a little bit more at the surface, which is okay too, right? It's not like I'm doing crazy mania things or I'm doing crazy depressed things. I just think I'm going with the flow and I'm just rolling with life on life's terms as it comes. For some reason, my kid's at school, off of school today. Not sure why, but that's okay. I think what I've learned this week is I've got to really just have faith in myself. I've really got to just believe that things are going to work out as they're supposed to, and that as they do, I'll be able to continue evolving and continue growing and rolling with everything that comes my way. At this moment, I know I will. At this moment, I know that things will work out. I know that pretty much where I'm going to end up. I know where I'm going to go next. I know what I'd like to happen, but I also know that a lot of things are out of my control still, and I accept that also. Right? There's no guarantee that when I go to court, whenever that is, I guess 10 days or whatever, that I'm going to be able to go. Right? So I might be here another 3, 6 months. Who knows? But that's okay. I'm okay with that also. If that's what happens, then I'm meant to be here. If I'm finally able to go, then I'm meant to be somewhere else. And I'm okay with that also. I think what I learned from last night and into today as I have been more centered and focused is that I can adapt to anything. I'm also learning that my resilience is unbelievably high, that I can handle what most people just don't attempt to. And that's fine also. I think we all have that inside. I think we all have empathic abilities. We all have different versions of that and different gifts that we're able to tap into. But I also believe that you have to believe it. I think everybody has their moments where they want to just throw in the towel and they're scared and fear just swallows them whole. But at the end of the day, will you really? Will you really give up? I know my answer is no. I know my answer is absolutely no. Now, do I have moments? Of course I have moments. I wonder if my fingernails are still blue or green from earlier. A little bit. Apparently my 3-year-old decided, let's put a marker on daddy's fingernails. It was either green or blue. I couldn't tell which because it was just a strange color. Um, but again, whatever my kids need to make happy. I mean, if it was bright pink, it would have been bright pink. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me what anybody else thinks, what anybody else says, what anybody else wants. If that's what it takes for my kids to be happy and for me to participate in what they want to do, I'm all for it. It's just about being the best I can be for myself and them. I spent my whole life caring about what other people thought, overwhelmingly. I think I'm finally at the point where I just don't care anymore. Not completely, but mostly. I don't feel obligated to do much of anything anymore, unless it's something I want to do or my kids need me to do. And even then, I try to teach them first, let them do it for themselves, which is not an easy process, but I still work on it. This is going to be a very interesting end of the year for many different reasons. There's so many different things going on in the world right now with the crazy elections coming up now, with all the violence, the chaos, the craziness, economic downturns, everything that's coming, and things are in some ways going to get worse no matter who wins the election, in my opinion. Um, the divisive natures of what's going on globally is scary to me. Uh, I think that there are a lot of people in pain, and the few are holding down the many right now. And at some point, the many are going to stand up and not want to deal with it anymore. Now, what that leads to and what that means, I don't know. But what I do know is I'm going to stay as centered as I can. I'm going to continue to do the right thing by as many people as I can without endangering myself or my family or those I care about. And I'm going to make the best of every situation that comes my way. So much about life is what we make it, and it's about perspectives. I was on LinkedIn a little bit today, not much. I think I responded to 2 or 3 posts today. Not many, but some. I really don't have an interest in absorbing my life with it right now. But there was an important one about finding your path, and there was an important one to me about gratitude. Now, the gratitude one was interesting because, again, I paid tribute to Annie, right, who just means so much to me in so many ways, and she's helped me in so many ways, and she really taught me how to live in gratitude. I'm wondering if she should change it from living with Annie to living with gratitude. Um, but without her, I wouldn't be where I am today. That's guarantee. At least not today. I mean, at some point in my life, I might have been, but not right now. The impact that she's had on me is beyond enormous. So much for the cough drops. Um, I think in your life you come across special people. And when you do come across those special people, they need to be reciprocal friendships, reciprocal relationships, reciprocal whatever. Because as long as both sides provide value to each other and their support and caring and whatever else comes along with that, then I think it could be limitless of what the possibilities are, right? There's so much to be said for creating and allowing those bonds to happen. Again, spending most of my life never allowing myself to have those bonds because I didn't understand what it even meant. It was difficult. But now I think I'm starting to understand it a little bit better. It's starting to make more sense to me. I'm gonna call it short. It's been 15 minutes, and before I go into a coughing fit again, which is definitely coming, I hope everybody had an amazing night, amazing day, amazing week, and I'll be back tomorrow. Have a great one. Bye.